Hi, this is the WTF SDK quest creation tutorial part 1. So, we are basically going down the list, covering these editors one by one, and this time I'm going to demonstrate how to create a quest in the game from scratch. So obviously, the first thing that you want to do is to go to the quest tab, hit the create new quest button, and let's fill out some basic information. So some of these names might be a bit confusing. They will become a bit more apparent once you enter the game. The category of the quest is the category tabs that the quests are being sorted by. So let's say it's actually in WoW, these are sorted by zone. Obviously, in your own game, you can create any kind of categorization that you like. But let's say this is the tutorial quests category. And let's give this quest a name. And a description. So the progress dialog is the one that actually appears when the player returns to the quest giver and the quest is already in progress. So I'm going to have him say, "Have you found my items yet?" And as you can see, this is written as a dialog, which obviously doesn't have to be the case, but I am going to give this quest to a quest giver, so which is why I've written these dialogues like dialogues. Alright, I need a goal. So the precise goal description, it's basically a literal description of the goal of the quest. So and a dialog for when the quest is completed and it's about to be turned in. A quick save. Alright, so the next things that we want to work with are the objectives and the rewards panel. Now, the quest is supposed to be an item search quest, and I have no items in the game at all. If I look at the item tab, there's nothing. So the next thing that I need to do is to actually create an item that can be part of the quest's objectives. So let's look at my pre-made materials, and I am going to copy the items resources that I prepared into the project folder. Once again, anything that you need to work with has to go inside this particular folder. And I am going to take a look at the actual graphics of this particular folder. Alright, so I am going to create a item quickly, just so that the quest would work. And apparently I have a flower icon prepared, so I'm going to have to change the quest text a bit when I return to the quest editor. By default, if you look at, these are pretty self-explanatory. The most important thing that you want to look at is the equipment slot, which is by default defined as a quest item, which basically means it's not an equipable item, but that's fine because that's what we want. Now, there are two more things that's completely required for the item before it would actually function in game. I need an icon that works inside the inventory. And I am going to use the flower inventory GIF. And as you can see, that's basically how the item would look like in the inventory. And I need another image. And that's basically how the item would appear as a drop in the game. Alright, and I'm not going to use anything else, and we will come back to this item tutorial later. I'm going to close this. And so I am going to have to alter all the quest tags. Just need to change all the references from lost items to flowers. Alright, now to work on the objectives. So, obviously I need to create an objective slot, and I do that by clicking the new objective button here. And basically these icons all mean the same thing even in these different editors, so that one obviously deletes an existing objective. Alright, what I want to do is to create a collect objective, and you would basically see the objective text change, and I want the text to say so as you can see, once you name the objective, it replaces the line entirely. And so since this is a collect quest, the target of the collection would be here, the flower that I just created. And the quest description says free, so I need to give it free flowers to collect. And so for now, I am just going to hand out some experience and gold, both of which requires no further definition. And as you can see, you can hand out items as rewards. So let's say and probably one thing that you notice is that it's technically asking for a percent to next level, which is based on a calculation of the ideal quest level of this particular quest, which is based on a 1.0 scale on the stats XP scaling parameter. So all these are pretty variable, and obviously you can give a direct amount of experience if you don't want to mess with any of these automatic scaling parameters. And let's hand out some money as well, and we'll be generous here and say let's hand out 5 silver worth of coins. And that's pretty much all we need to do as far as the quest itself is concerned. Now, in the next tutorial, I am going to go over how to actually make this quest show up in game and set up all the related parameters that would allow the quest to function properly.